So we'll continue with the tree map and waterfall chart and funnel chart, and also we will take a look at this one. The other thing is decomposition tree. Okay, decomposition tree, and also we'll take a look at the infographics custom visual today. Okay, let me see. Whatever the thing that I can cover it, we'll cover it. Okay, in 1.5 to 2 hours time. First thing is the tree map. What is tree map? Tree map, you know very well. All of you would have tried here, right? So this is the data set. And for example, when I click on the tree map here, this is what your tree map. Already it has a lot of visuals in it. One second, let me just click on the tree map. First of all, what is a tree map? Tree map is a visual, okay, but as the name suggests, it displays or shows the data in a tree-like structure, okay, with easily readable branches and sub-branches. So we use the tree map visual to display the data in hierarchical. Okay, so especially if you have any hierarchical data, if you want to display the parent and child distribution, so in that kind of situation, you can go for the tree map. Supposing in this data set, I have category and the sales and other values are there here. Okay, supposing I want to see in each category how much revenue we generated. Very simple business question. I just drop this category column out here. And then here I will push the sales column here. I just dragged and dropped one text column and then one quantitative measure. This also calls a measure. Okay, the numeric variable, right? So it's a measure. So here we can see that in each category, how much sales we made it here. Okay, I just go ahead and do some kind of formatting options here. Now I'm going to toggle this on, the data labels. So you can see that the values, sales values, we can see that in each category, how much sales we made. Now I want to get into the next level. I want to see in each category, the segment-wise sales breakdown, I want to see it. Each category in technology and furniture and office supply, each category, I want to see the sales breakdown by segment. You can use whichever column that you wanted. We will start with a simple example. Look here, I'm going to drop this segment column here. Now we can see that in technology, this entire rectangle is related to technology category. Within this technology, in consumer segment, corporate segment, home office, in each segment, how much sales we made. That is a breakdown, we can say it, right? Category by, the sales breakdown by category by segment. Same thing, we can see it here also. In the case of tree map, if you notice here, the highest value, displayed in the descending order. So if you see on the top left, right, you will find the biggest number here, 22,98,000 and 1,34,000. And here, if you see 20 lakhs, this is 22 lakhs, 20 lakhs, and here you see 1. So the biggest value started and will get displayed on the extreme left. Okay, here, extreme left, or and importantly, the top one. Okay. See, it's displaying the values in descending order, okay, which means the highest values are displayed on the top left and the lowest sales on the lower right bottom. Is it clear? It's pretty simple, right? So if you can see that, you can easily make an insight with this. You will gain a quick insight. Whichever the rectangle is bigger one, with that itself, we can make out quickly, hey, in technology consumer segment, we are doing good job. So technology and furniture also in the consumer segment, we are doing good job, including the office supplies. All these three categories, we can see that in consumer segment, we are doing good. Okay. So hope you understood with this. Let me just, yeah, how to create tree map, right? The basic tree map. So, okay, now the question is, so can't I use the clustered column chart or any other chart? Why tree maps? That's what I said, right? If you want to display the data in hierarchy, so in the technology is the parent and the child one is the segments, these three segments in each thing, right? Hierarchical data, if you want to display it, you can use this one. And also the tree map is used to display or to show the parts of whole. Okay. And if you see this one, right? So within the technology category of all the three segments, we can see that this one, right? So we use the compared to the whole, this part is a bigger one. Okay. This big, that means the contribution is more here. So that is what we can understand. So somebody is asking you, so when you can go for tree map, if you wanted to display the data in hierarchical, right? So hierarchical structure, then you can go for tree map. Apart from this, it shows us the parts to whole, parts to whole relationship. It shows us. It is better than my pie chart. So in pie chart also we can display, we can show the parts to whole relationship. But in the case of pie chart, if you have more number of categories are there, in that case, difficult to interpret. Okay, you will find very thin, the pies will be, the wedges will, sizes of the wedges will be very thin. In that case, difficult to interpret, right? So, but whereas in the case of rectangle, if you notice here, look here, I'm going to resize it. Even if I resize it to a very small thing, right, you can still make out here. I just copy paste it here. And the same thing, I will just try to do it in pie chart. Okay, and here I just reduce it to even a small size. See, this is the one it's a very interesting one. If you see here. Even if you shrink it to a very small size, right, you can still make out very clearly what is happening. See, look here, it is getting very, very smaller. But especially if you use, I'll put one more thing here. What I will do is I'll just, instead of this one segment, I'm going to remove it. In each category, the subcategory, you want to see it. I'm going to remove segment now. And then I'm going to use subcategory here. So we can see the nested rectangle subcategory. But in this case, if you see here, instead of category, if I use subcategory, what will happen? See, compare these two. And I'm going to resize it. You might be saying that, this is bigger than this one, hence it is visible. Even if you resize it and reduce it, still you can make out very well. And especially if you see this slices, right? Very difficult to interpret. So what I'm trying to say is, if you have more number of categories, in that case, better you can go for Treemap. That kind of situation also, this is very much helpful. It is better than pie charts, especially when you have more number of categories. And using Treemap, you can display the parts to whole, and you can use 2 dimensions in one measure. So in this case, 2 dimension. What is the 2 dimension? Category is 1 dimension, subcategory is another dimension. 2 categories are used it here. But in this case, Is it possible here? Look here, I just select this one. Even I will resize it a little bit bigger. Here the category and subcategory we used it, and whereas here we just used only the subcategory and then sales. And here you don't have the legend option and all, right? So legend, yeah, legend is there, but the values, that's all. Okay, you don't have any other access. But here, if you see here, you have a field called category and details and values, right? These three things are there. Okay, you can have two dimensions and one measure. So one dimension is your category, other dimension is your subcategory. But whereas here, can I use more than one dimension? You cannot, right? For example, if I drop the category here, let's see what happens. It will be cluttered like anything. You can put here. And then again, you need to drill down here, right? You need to drill down. It is possible. You can specify more than one dimension, but you need to drill down here. Even if you drill down to the next level, whereas the next level, you have more number of categories in it, right? So in that case, what happens? It is little, bit cluttered here. And then the next one is, for example, I have the segment here. I just select this visual and then I'll drop segment. Even in this case, you have the drill up, drill down option is available. And here you can see that in technology, all the subcategories are there. And here, okay, one second. Here, sorry, the categories and subcategories, and then the segment. If you want to see the segment, you need to go all down one level in this one. Look here, it goes everything. It gives us everything in detail. But even then, even if you add, right, even though the more number of rectangles are there, still you can interpret. Look here, this, even the small sized rectangle is also visible, isn't it? Not like this one. If you drill all down one level, look here, if you see this one, you cannot make out anything. Look here, even though the rectangle size is small, still we can make out here. But here, if you see here, right, very difficult. Still, you can move the cursor and you can make it. But first of all, which wedge is related to which one? Difficult to interpret. This is far better than this one. Okay, to summarize, okay, you use the tree map. You can use it in the case of comparing the part to whole or finding out the part to whole relationship. And other things, if you want to display the data in hierarchical structure, you can use the tree map. You can use two dimensions and you can use one measure. In this case, I have used more than two dimensions, three dimensions used to. One is the category, other one is subcategory, and again the segment, right? But when you use more than two dimensions, automatically the drill down, drill up icons will get enabled here. Okay. And what we will do is I'll just move this app and I'm going to just copy this and paste it here. And here I'm going to use one dimension. And then I'm going to remove this one here. Let me do one thing. Since we have, the pie chart, look here, pie chart takes longer time. Here we can see the, if I hover the cursor here, look here, here itself, we can see that, right? So in technology, we can see that what is the sales and what is the profit, right? So this is the larger one is your sales and smaller one is your profit. The point what I'm trying to make here is you can use one dimension and two measures also. What are the measures? Sales and profit is a measure. In this case, you can use two dimension, one measure. Here, one dimension, two measures also possible. Okay. And you can, again, you can drag and drop other things. When you try to, for example, if I drop this segment here, in this case, yeah, when you go more than one level, right? So what happens? It goes to the next level. This one got enabled. And if you click on one down, all one down level, you can see that in each category and in each segment, what is the sales, what is the profit, you can see it here. Right. So the advanced level analytics, but thing is, right, it is far better when it comes to interpretation, because each rectangle, even though the size of the rectangles are very small, still you can make out, look here, there is something, but here it is very difficult. Look at the in between these two, right? The white color is there, purple color and white color. So we do not know it's a purple color, white color, right? So it's very difficult to make out, interpret this one. To summarize, if you want to show the part to whole, you can go for this one. And if you want to display the data in hierarchical structure, then you can go for the tree map. And especially if you have more than one, multiple categories are there in a single categorical column, then better you can go for tree map. In the case of tree map, you can use two dimensions, one measure, and also you can use one dimension and two measures. So dimension is nothing but the categorical column. Okay, just think that way. Because in the case of data warehouse, in the data warehouse world, if you say dimension, it could be category, subcategory, region, store, and salesperson. These are your dimensions. Measures are nothing but the numbers. The sales, profit, these are your numbers. Hope now you understood what is tree map and when you can use the tree map. But importantly, when you select the tree map here, you have something category and details field is available here, plus values are there. But in this case, you have only one second. I just select this one, and here you have legend and values is there, and details here also available. Three fields are available in both the cases. Okay, but when it comes to interpretation, this is pretty useful, a very simple one, right? But whereas it is a little bit complication because the wedges size will become very thin, very difficult to make out. The next one is what is that? The next one is